All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight. If you're here live, it is Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. Wow. Already into the third month of 2022. Time flies when you're having fun. But if you're here on the replay, hey, don't go anywhere. This is evergreen content. I just decided to do it live because maybe we might have some engagement in the chat and people may ask some questions while we're live. But if you're on the replay, hey, you get the same thing. Just ask your questions in the comments section. That's it. And I'll get back to them as soon as possible. Anyway, let me first of all make sure that the YouTube notification went out. And it absolutely did. We're all set to go and ready to rock and roll. We're going to get right to it here tonight. But just real quick. Hope you're all having a great night, great evening. If you need more content to watch after this show, I've done a couple of great Walking with Purpose live streams over the past couple of days. Go back and check them out. They were on some very good and helpful topics. If you just give me a second here. Let me just pull this up for a second. You won't be able to see it on the screen. But yesterday, I did a show on everything in life is subjective. The end justifies the means. A great topic that you will learn a lot from, and it will help better your life by keeping you cool, calm, and collective, and just really more so understanding how some things in life are, even though you may feel they should be differently. And then earlier today, I did another Walking with Purpose stream titled How Your Life Can Get Easier Right Away. All you need is one simple thing. One more time. How your life can get easier right away. You don't have to wait. It can change right now. All you need is one simple thing. So if you need more content, go back and watch my previous two streams or any of my past content. I have a ton of content here on this channel, folks. If you just start to pay attention and listen to my stories, listen to what I've been through, my trials and tribulations, okay? The mistakes I made and how I learned to work through those mistakes to better my life, it will tremendously help you. But anyway, tonight, we're here to do another installment of none other than Dating Advice for Men and Women, Volume 11. So let's go ahead and get right to that. Let's get over to the browser screen. And here's how tonight's show is going to go. I have another 5 excellent Reddit topics, Reddit stories to share with you folks. I'm going to go through the first 2 or 3, depending on how long it takes for me to get through the first couple or so. And then I'm going to go over the last 2 or 3 after I take a break in the middle of the show, roughly at around the 45-minute mark or maybe 1 hour mark at the most. We're going to be here for probably about an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours or a little over 2 hours. So, kick up your feet, grab yourself a nice drink, whatever you're drinking, and enjoy the show. And feel free to ask any questions in the chat. Now, just so people know, you do need to be subscribed to my channel for a minimum of 24 hours before you're able to chat. It's a security measure, and it's also a measure I'm taking because I really want positive engagement from people that truly believe in the content here and truly want to, become a better person and learn to be a better person. That's what I do here. I teach people how to better their lives. And if you really believe in this type of content, then you believe in me, and then you would subscribe, right? So that's why I only allow subscribers to chat that have been subscribed here for a minimum of 24 hours or more. Now, so you folks know, I may, in the near future, change that requirement to 48 hours, 72 hours, or even a week. So if you want to subscribe right now and chat, subscribe right now because I will be increasing the time limit that you need to be subscribed to my channel to be able to chat in the weeks and even months ahead. All right. The first of 5 Reddit postings is from the subreddit Seduction. And the title of the original poster is, I told a couple girls this line and they got offended, but then were into me. One more time. I told a couple girls, it should be a couple of girls. Come on, bro. Come on. That's not that difficult to get that grammatically correct. I told a couple of girls this line and they got offended, but then were into me. And look below there. Sorry, this post was deleted by the person who originally posted it. Wow. But dude, I make backups because it was a pretty decent story. And I have a backup copy of it. So let's get to that and read what he deleted. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. All right. So the original poster writes, hey, boys, I just encountered, who calls guys boys? I mean, I'm sorry, I had to comment on that right away. Hey, guys, what's up, guys, right? Or something like that, but hey, boys. I'm going to leave that one alone. I just encountered an event a couple of days ago, and wanted to hear what you have to say. So I'm a fairly attractive guy, and I told some girls, we're all like 22, so you're in your early 20s, you're young, dumb, and full of the C word. We're not going to say it and get demonetized, right? That women belong to me. This is at a part-time job I have while I'm in college. So at a job you're working at with some women your age, young women in their early 20s that are probably pretty cute and attractive, right? You told some girls that women belong to me. Well, first of all, dude, I would never, ever take that approach in the workforce, because all they have to do is go to human resources and say that you're sexually harassing them. But it's a good thing they didn't take it that way. But so, yeah, this guy goes up to some women at his work and says, women belong to me. Woman, come here. You're mine. You have no rights, right? Well, this is back in the days, right? He's approaching women kind of like how it was before women got liberated, right? You know, pre-50 circa, right? Okay. They got triggered. No kidding, bro. They got triggered. But I held frame. Good for you. That's a good thing. You held your frame, right? And then it should be a few minutes later, you leave a word out, of and us. Dude, come on, man. And then a few minutes later, they were really into me all of a sudden. I said this jokingly after I learned how to be a bit of a bad boy. Well, see, dude, here's the problem. You've been hanging around the PUA circuit, the pickup artist circuit, and that's not the proper way to meet women. Now, there are, some things that pickup artists teach men that can work, even for guys that are looking for a relationship, right? But I don't know if I would have gone as far if I was in your shoes to approach these women and say, women belong to me. It kind of sounds like, you're angry and bitter that women have rights and they're working nowadays and they're independent, right? You're trying to talk like the days before women were liberated and got equal rights. But anyway, my question is, are lines like these acceptable to say at like clubs, bars, and stuff outside of college? I wouldn't say they're acceptable or not. I'd say they are really cocky and borderline arrogant. It's one thing to be cocky, playful, funny, but to be borderline arrogant, like you honestly saying that makes you come off a little more arrogant than cocky, playful, funny, right? But you said they were really into you all of a sudden. So here's what I think happened. Well, let me read a little bit more and I'll share with you what I think happened. I feel as a guy, you keep leaving the A's and ofs out of there. If you're good looking enough, you can get away using more crass, aka fuckboy language, even when you're older. It should be you are older, not Y-O-U-R, Y-O-U-R. Sorry, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E or Y-O-U space A-R-E. Man, this guy has horrible, horrible grammar. That's what's happening nowadays to our youth because they have smartphones that autocorrect. right? Auto spell, autocorrect grammar and all that. Wow, this is horrible, horrible, right? And the truth of the matter is, if you're a good-looking guy and a woman is 100% attracted to you physically or close to 100% attracted to you physically, you can get away with a lot more. It doesn't mean you can get away with everything, but I think you got away with the line you said because you're very attractive, and these women think you're really cute, right? Another reason why I think you got away with it is because these women are probably used to being approached by many thirsty beta males that are coming at them and saying, hi, you're really pretty, and I would love to take you to dinner sometime. Would you like to go to dinner with me? Right? It sounds very sissy-like, beta-like, right? They're probably used to being approached by beta males, but you just come out of the blue and say, women belong to me. Maybe not in that voice, right? But you're like, hey, ladies, women just belong to me, right? And it all depends on the tone of voice that you used. Maybe you used it in a very playful voice and they picked up on that, but it also kind of threw them off initially. But at the same time, after processing it for a while, they probably started thinking, that might have been kind of rude or really rude what he said, but this guy has balls just to come up and approach us and say something like that. And that's what probably intrigued them. And again, they were probably either 100% sexually, physically attracted to you or pretty close to 100%. So that's why. If you're not so attractive, you spelled your correctly there, Y-O-U''R-E. Maybe the autocorrect, the grammar, auto grammar correct helped you there. If you're not so attractive, then they say it was harassment. No, they won't say it's harassment unless you try one time, they shoot you down, then you keep trying again. You guys don't understand. Like, women are not going to hashtag me to you or say you're harassing them if you ask them out one time. You ask them out one time, you approach them one time, they say, get lost, I'm not interested, you walk away. If you continue to push forward through that, then that could be considered harassment or hashtag me too stuff, right? Okay? So that's what that means there. We see it with business executives who get shot down for being misogynistic. No, these business executives are, probably unhappily married at home with older wives that have gained weight, that have bad attitudes, and they're just not into their wife anymore. So now they're trying to get with the younger women like you're, trying to get with that are your age in their early 20s. And, they do some quid pro quo stuff, meaning that, okay, I'll give you a raise if you sleep with me or something like that, right? So that's what happens to the business executives. Just asking a woman out in the workforce is not necessarily going to get you in trouble. It just depends, how you handle it. And if she says no, do you walk away or do you keep trying, right? Or if you're an executive, are you trying to do quid pro quo? Meaning that this for that. Hey, you work for me, you either sleep with me or I fire you. If you sleep with me constantly, I'll give you a $10 raise, right? That's quid pro quo. That's against the law, right? So a male life is basically a gamble in the sense that if you say one wrong line and you're not perceived attractive, you can get screwed over really fast. That's not true, bro. That's not true, bro, which is what I'm trying to say. Okay? The only way you get screwed is if you continue to pursue a woman that is not interested in you. If you approach a woman and say, hi, how are you? Hey, you seem really nice and you're really cute. I'd love to take you out. Would you like to go for a cup of coffee sometime? I don't suggest coffee. I'm just using it for example purposes, right? But would you like to go and go on a hiking, on a hike with me sometimes or something like that, right? Don't even say hiking date. Just say, would you like to go on a hike with me sometime? And, let's get to know each other, right? If she says, nah, I'm not really interested. No, right? If she's really into you and attracted to you, then she'll say yes. And look at her enthusiasm. If she says no and you keep on trying, well, come on, just a hike, then, you're pushing it. But if you just ask a woman out one time, no harm, no foul, man. Just my thought on this event. I want to hear your thoughts. Well, you just heard mine. Let's see what the people in the comments section said there. So let's switch back to the original posting that was deleted by the person who originally posted it. I don't know why he would delete it. I don't know. Anyway, I tried a similar line on a date once. My date was like, I like your confidence, but she was really saying, that's good that you feel attracted even though you're not. Thanks, Norma. Okay. That's exactly what I was saying up above. You know, the fact that you were coming out and saying something different than the beta males would say is what attracted these women to you, along with, you know, your very good looks that they were attracted to you. Pretty close to 100% attraction or 100% attraction, right? So it's more of a confidence thing, which is why, you know, you got away with it, or they changed their mind from, you know, not liking it to liking it. It's not that they didn't like it. They didn't expect it. They were thrown off guard because they're used to having beta males, you know, bask in their glory, put them on a pedestal, right? And overinflate their value. And you're just coming in there saying, you know, women belong to me, right? And maybe you did it in a cocky, playful way, or maybe they knew you for a while, right? And they knew you to be the funny, charming guy. So you saying that, you know, and them knowing you for a while, working at the same place, okay, that's what got you in, and your good looks. So yeah, this guy's just saying the same thing here in different words. That was a shit test you failed, but probably better it worked out that way. How was that a shit test? It was not a shit test at all. He said something that could be perceived by most women nowadays as rude. And it is kind of a rude thing to say. But if he said it in a playful way, and he, you know, has been working with these women for quite some time and has built rapport with them, and they know he's just playing, that could have worked very well to his advantage. Plus, he's a good-looking guy, right? So maybe he played the situation because he knew these women, and he's like, what do I have to lose? You know, we work together, you know, we see each other all the time, we're friendly with each other. Why not just try to say something like that and see if it, you know, gets him to go on a date with me? And you never know, right? And if not, no harm, no foul. There are other women, plenty of fish in the sea, right? Can you describe how they were really into you? All right, this dude is young, doesn't understand it. It's his confidence, because women don't expect guys nowadays to have balls and to take chances, because most guys fear rejection. The truth of the matter is every guy fears rejection or knows there's a chance of rejection, okay? But the guys that, you know, are not afraid of rejection, I mean, everybody has the fear, it can happen. But the guys that say, hey, if I get rejected, so be it. But what if I take that chance and she says yes, right? Right? You're never going to know unless you try, right? And the more women you ask out, 1 out of every 10 women you ask out when you're single is going to say yes, on average, right? So it may take asking 9 women out that say no to get the 10th one that says yes, right? Honestly, that line sounds cringe as fuck, and I wouldn't count on getting away with it with women who have a little self-respect. I do agree with what the person in the comment section is saying here. So that's why I think he said he works with these girls, and he's probably been working with them for several months at least, and they've built up some kind of friendly rapport to the point of him saying that gave them more of a giggle and made them feel like, wow, this guy has balls. Wow. You know, he's been cool with us at work, but wow, he has balls to come and say something to us without any fear, right? And that's why they thought about it, and they're like, whoa, wow. We've never come across a guy like that, you know, has balls to, you know, approach us, right? We're used to the thirsty beta males, you know, throwing themselves at our feet that, you know, and that creates no attraction, no spark. It repels us, right? As a 30-year-old guy, this whole sub is comedy. 99% of shit only works on 18 to 23-year-olds, insecure college girls. This is just an angry and bitter person there. Scratch that. This whole sub is not, you know, subreddit. It's not comedy. Some of it is, right? But there are a lot of great postings here that, you know, make a lot of sense and we can all learn from. And by the way, you know, by the time a woman hits 16 years old or so, she's pretty much almost fully developed into the way she's going to be for the rest of her life. And I've heard that a lot, and I believe that. So women really don't change much after the age of 16. They get older and they do mature more. But women have always been known to biologically mature faster than men. So by the time a woman is 16, she's the equivalent of an 18-year-old guy or 20-year-old guy, right? So age has nothing to do with it, man. This guy has no clue. He'll figure it out. He's a 30-year-old guy and hasn't figured it out yet. He's probably just bitter because, maybe he's still a virgin. Maybe, he keeps getting rejected. Maybe he's out of shape. Maybe he doesn't know how to talk with women, doesn't take care of himself. This guy right here is just projecting his misery onto the other good people here. Yeah, I'm 33. There's some useful mindsets to be found here, but there's a lot of garbage too. Well, you're going to find that anywhere on the internet, on Reddit, on YouTube, on Facebook. You're going to find that anywhere and everywhere. Half the stuff's going to be crap. Half's going to be valuable stuff. Why are you even talking about that? You guys have known how the internet's been for a while. Come on. The surface structure caters to younger women. That's true enough. But I think the underlying principle of holding frame is pretty stable. It is not as if we stop having provocative opinions once we exit our 20s. No, that is true. But what does that have to do with the topic? Maybe he was talking about how the guy was holding frame after he said, the line, women belong to me, which is, I got to say, that's a ballsy thing to say, especially in the workforce, right? But that's even ballsy to say if you're at a club, if you see a woman on the street. Like if you're walking down the street and a woman's trying to get somewhere and you tap her on the shoulder and say, excuse me, women belong to me. She may even slap you and leave, but she'll walk away. The situation this guy was in at work, he probably knew these women. They've talked in the past. They built some rapport. So that's why he said that. Here's the very angry and bitter dude responding again. It's just that at 30, I don't want someone that requires provocative opinions to gain interest in me. I can be flirty and fun, but honestly, just being positive is the best. I agree. Being positive is the best. And yes, be flirty and fun. But being a little provocative is what's going to allow you as the man to gauge how sexually attracted the woman is to you from the very beginning. Because women are either going to be 100% or close to 100% sexually attracted to you from the very beginning, or they're never going to get to that point with you. So that's my one issue with what you're writing there. It's just my opinion, though. I want to attract happy, fun, positive women, not insecure, toxic women. Happy, positive, and secure women are going to be open to letting the natural flow of progression move things forward. Some of the best relationships I had, with good women raised right from a good family, I was intimate with them on the first or second date. So, quite honestly, you're trying to make it sound like if a woman is a little too provocative with you early on, it's not going to work for you, right? No, women are going to be provocative or at least try to give a guy a hint that she's sexually attracted to him the moment she feels it. If she feels it from the moment she lays eyes on you or connects with you on a dating app or dating site, she's going to flirt with you to let you know. Women cannot control how they feel. They're emotional beings. And don't you want to know so you're not wasting your time if she's not into you for the right reasons? Come on, dude. Come on, man. Even just for sex, it makes the whole ordeal not worth it. Don't let these people disturb your peace. Dude. God, man. This guy is really either a goody-goody or, I don't know, he's had some really, really bad experiences with women he's probably slept with that probably kept driving him crazy after he didn't want to be with them. Something happened to this guy for him to be writing this way. Frame, I understand. Confidence is real. Improving yourself is real, not financially. Women could give two fucks how much money you have unless you're ultra rich or famous. And women, look, The wrong women are going to try to get with you for your money, and they're going to care about the money a lot. The right women are still going to care about your money, but not in the way you think. They just want to know that you make enough money to take care of yourself. And if you were to have a future with that woman, you'd be able to do your part so the relationship can flow. That's it. Nothing wrong with that, right? Why would you want to, as a man, why would you want to be with a woman, or as a woman, why would you want to be with a man that wasn't financially stable, right? Okay. But socially, fitness, health, hobbies, and activities. Okay. Yeah. You want someone that's social, outgoing, takes care of themselves physically, is in good health, and has hobbies and activities preferably similar to yours. Right. 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 Okay. Give me just a second here. All right, we are at 25 minutes. Let's read one more here, then we're going to get to the second posting and then take a break and come back and do the last three. I see where you're coming from. I've had an experience with a toxic woman. We all have. And that's exactly why the guy was commenting the way he was commenting. He's angry and bitter, and he's being a little bit guarded and extra cautious. And it's not good. Put your guard down, take chances, have fun. Okay? If you don't take chances, you're never going to find the right person. Sometimes taking chances might put the wrong person in your life temporarily, but you can find out fairly quickly. But if you don't take those chances and you leave your guard up, you're going to close off a lot of people. That's the problem nowadays with many men and women. More so women have this issue, not men. But yeah, in the past when I was single, if I encountered women that were guarded, or saying they want to take things slow, or I've had guys in the past, try to sleep with me too soon. I don't need to hear all that shit. We've all been in those situations, right? Right? Women that are truly ready to move forward and let things happen, if it's meant to be, are just going to not say stuff like that. And if intimacy happens on the first or second date, it's because they're into you, you're into them, and they're taking a chance to see if you can lead the relationship. The women that are guarded are going to be lonely and miserable for a while. And even if they meet, a couple guys that, don't pick up that they're that way before, meeting in person, those guys are going to be beta males that are going to try to force the woman to sleep with him, force the woman to sleep with him. And she's going to be more and more turned off and become more and more jaded. The alpha male guys like myself will pick up on that behavior from a woman, even through online dating apps, because we ask questions. We will ask questions before meeting that will force the woman to show her cards, right? If she's not open sexually and open to letting the natural flow of progression take its course, then you just block them and leave, or just tell them, hey, no, sorry, it's not going to work for me. Best of luck to you, right? Okay. I've learned a lot and grew a lot from the experience, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, LOL. Who would recommend dating a toxic woman? Or who would recommend dating a toxic man to a woman, right? I know that's why he said LOL, right? But we don't know that till we take chances, right? We got to take chances to find the one. And that means we're going to come across some toxic people every now and then. I'm saying that in conversation, you'll inevitably run into a controversial topic where the impulse is to acquiesce, to keep the peace. Why would you have to acquiesce to keep the peace? Just be yourself. If it's not working out, if you feel it's not working out, you can walk away anytime. In those instances, I think it is better to hold frame and manage the topic forthrightly. It is not a shit test as such. It is an integrity test. I think you're overthinking this. The bottom line is chemistry is either going to be there or not. And I'll tell you what, if you're on a first date with a woman, regardless of how you meet her, online or offline, and there's not any making out, I mean, I'm not saying you have to sleep with her on the first date, but if there's not some making out or something, then it's just not going to work out. A woman that's really into you is going to be into you from the very beginning and is going to give you clues on the first date that she wants to make out with you, even if you're not trying to make out with her. Look for that, guys. Come on. Like, my woman wanted to jump my bones behind Safeway on the first date. Not because she's that kind of woman, because she just knew what we had. She felt it. And I said, baby, let's make it more special. Let's get a nice room and do it the next time. But She was into me, so she showed me. She made it very obvious. She even told me. I'm like, wow. Wow, if I missed that sign, then cuckoo, wow, what would be wrong with me? Right? I like that you mentioned the money issue because I got floored at how many comments in this sub are guys complaining that you need to be a rich Adonis to even meet women. No, you don't need to be rich, but you need to make enough money to survive and live a decent lifestyle, be able to take care of yourself, buy some nice clothes, have a decent car that runs. You don't have to have a new car, but have a nice, decent used car at least, right? Okay. Take care of your place, have some nice furniture, keep it clean, keep your car clean, shower every day, groom yourself, right? Yeah, you don't need to be rich, but you need to make at least a decent amount of money that sustains your lifestyle and where you're not living paycheck to paycheck. I think the guys women are talking about that, have money issues are guys that live paycheck to paycheck, don't have a retirement plan, don't have any savings, right? Stuff like that. Women are looking for a guy to be financially responsible, not necessarily because they want to take your money, because why would they want to have a future with someone that's not financially responsible? Why would you want to have a future with a woman that's not financially responsible, right? It works both ways. I'm like, really? I see the exact opposite whenever I'm in public. In the extreme, even a hobo can't find a receptive woman. Okay. Putting game aside, the minimum requirements to be an acceptable dating prospect is a job and a general sense of purpose. A job that pays you enough money to sustain your lifestyle, put some money away for savings, retirement, etc. Right? And having a general sense of purpose, I think that's a little too general. I think you need to know what your purpose is. As a man, the number one most attractive aspect of a man to a woman is his purpose. The number one thing that attracts my woman, and if she's actually playing darts tonight, so she's not watching live, but if she watches this live again, it's funny. The number one thing that attracts my woman to me, besides my phenomenally good looks for age 48 and charm, I'm a humble guy. And never mind. But besides that, it's my purpose. My purpose is the thing she fell in love with right away. She loves what I do, and what I do directly has helped turn her life around. Okay, she didn't get with me because I'm a life coach, but the fact that I am a life coach, and she knew I would have an understanding of what she's going through, and her being really physically attracted to me and vice versa on the flip side, it just made it natural. It was instant. And that's the way it should be. It's meant to be, right? Hygiene doesn't necessarily disqualify a guy either. What? Let me read that again. Hygiene doesn't necessarily disqualify a guy either. No, in my opinion, it completely does. You got to have good hygiene, okay? Have good breath, okay? Wear deodorant, right? Okay? Smell good, wear some cologne, take a shower. As a man, use some, don't buy the cheap ass soap, like Zest or regular Irish Spring or anything like that. Get some nice hydrating soap with shea butter and cocoa extract or some crap like that, right? They've got a lot of great manly products nowadays for body soap. Women have always had this, but over the last 5 to 10 years, there's been a market focusing more on, men's skin and stuff. And I've been using, I no longer make this, but I have enough backstock for, I have 24 bars of this soap. It'll last me a while. It was a version of Irish Spring that they made called Man-Sized Signature Series bars, and they have their hydrating bars with shea butter extract, and it's just really good on the skin, and it doesn't have that excessive Irish Spring smell like the regular Irish Spring bars have. It's a lighter scented version. It still smells nice. It gets you clean, and it actually help soften my skin and keep it looking young. My skin right now at age 48 looks just as good as it did. Sorry, did I say that right? My skin right now at age 48 looks just as good as it did when I was 28 or even 25 or 21. No joke. Ask my woman. When I interview her, she'll answer that. We're going to do that interview at some point, like I've been talking about on many of my walking streams lately. Let's see. A friend of mine was great with women despite the constant razzing he got about his muskiness. Well, some women, you like a little muskiness because they say it's a sign of a man. It just depends. Is it musk or is it BO? There's a difference between a manly, musky scent that is like a pheromone that turns women on, or it could be body odor. If it's body odor, there's not a woman on the planet that's going to be in the body odor. And if a woman you want to date is in the body odor and likes your body odor, then there's something not right about that woman, in my opinion. I wouldn't want to be with a woman that has BO, body odor. Come on. He always managed to find foxy women who dug his manly scent. A manly scent, pheromones, something like that, is different than body odor. Okay? He probably had that scent even after he showered. It's just his manly scent. Women have their feminine scent too. Trust me. That's not BO. But BO, it wouldn't work for anyone. All right. Let's get to the next posting here. This is from the subreddit Purple Pill Debate. And the original poster's title is, "Why are women so much more content to be forever alone than men?" One more time. Why are women so much more content to be forever alone than men? I disagree with that title right there. Women are absolutely not content or more content to be forever alone compared to men. They're not. Nowadays, women are they're not just coming out and saying it, but if you talk with women, like before I got with this woman and I was single and talking to many women, a lot of them said, yeah, I don't like being single. I just haven't found the right guy. I'm not going to settle for the wrong guy, but it sucks being single, right? But these are women that aren't going to publicly put on their profiles, I don't like being single, or they're not going to just talk about it in everyday life with their friends and family, right? I talk with my woman. My woman's like, I don't like being alone. I can't stand being alone. I want to be with a good man, right? And that is completely normal for women. So, this dude, Suburban Dad Troll, I don't know. Suburban Dad Troll, I should say it all right there, the name of the account, Troll. I don't know how you came up with that, but let's see what you wrote. This is a subject that I just can't figure out because it doesn't make a lot of sense, dude. And most guys already know that what you wrote is the complete opposite. Okay? Men are much more content to be alone forever than women are. But I wouldn't say that much more because I don't think any man or woman would rather be single. Men and women love the company of each other. It seems to me that women can't find a high-value man to settle down with, are just fine living alone with their cats and the occasional girls' nights out. I said this before, I'll say it again. It's the thirsty beta males that are overly inflating the value of all women nowadays, even women that are not as attractive as the 9s and 10s. Like women that are 5s and 6s and 7s are all going after the top tier 9 and 10 men, right? That's because there's so many beta males overinflating women's values. And there's less supply of 9 and 10 men for these women than the demand, right? So that means a lot more women are, staying single because they won't give guys a chance that are 7 or 8, right? 7s and 8s are still reasonably attractive. I'm like a 7, 7.5, right? But before I started going out with the woman I'm with now, there were some women that didn't give me the time of day, because, they want a 9 or a 10. That's the bottom line. And height is an issue too to some women. Like there are women that are 5'5", 5'6" that won't date any man, shorter than 6 feet, right? It's a ridiculous standard that women have set, and that's what's happening here. I wonder how old this guy is. He's probably in his 20s. He calls himself Suburban Dad Troll. But dude, like, how old are you? Men, on the other hand, seem to spiral into a pit of misogyny and despair when they can't find even a low-value woman that will date them because of what I just said. But in other words, what you're saying there is that men are not content either. And it sounds like to me that men are not content, right? Men are not content. But women are not content either. It's both sides, bro. It's absolutely both sides. Let's see. Why does this happen? Because of what I just said. Because of what I just said. There's a low supply of what women demand. When you have women that are 4s, 5s, and 6s, and 7s, and 8s, right, that want to date only men that are 9s or 10s, okay? So what's happening? The women that are 9s and 10s are getting guys that are 9s and 10s. When the women that are 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, and 8s also want the 9s and 10s, they're taken by the 9s and 10s, right? So they will occasionally go out with a 9 or 10, get used for sex, and get kicked to the curb, right? And then it gets them angry and bitter, and they have guys that are 7s and 8s that are asking them out, and they're being turned down. This is a choice women are making, dude. It's not that they don't have the options. It's that they're being extremely, extremely, extremely picky. And the reason why they're doing that is because the thirsty beta males basically opened up that market to inflate the value, the sexual marketplace value of women that are even, average or below average looking. That's what's happening. Bottom line. Let's read some comments here before we take my first break. We're at 42 minutes. Someone choosing to be alone is very different from someone being alone, not by choice. True. The people that don't have a choice online and through many communities like the MGTOW, Men Going Their Own Way community, and the Manosphere community, we call those guys incels, involuntary celibates. And that's because of how they show up. They don't take care of themselves. They lack social skills. They don't dress nice. They don't smell nice, right? I mean, how are you going to attract a woman if you don't look good, smell good, dress nice, and are able to carry a conversation and have great social skills? Okay? Like, what would you expect from a woman if you had all that and she didn't? What if you had all the social skills and the looks and the clothes and look good in the clothes and all that, but she was the complete opposite? Come on, guys. Come on. What you expect, you should be giving too. Women go their own way versus men sent their own way. That's not true. That's a shit attitude to have because you lack self-confidence as a man. Okay? Both men and women have choices, right? Okay? And it's all about attraction. And if you focus as a man on becoming the best version of yourself you can be, get yourself in good shape, right? Buy some nice clothes, okay? Shower, shave, groom yourself, put on cologne, put on deodorant, okay? Use some mouthwash, etc., blah, blah, blah. You're leaps and bounds ahead of most guys. Does that mean every woman's going to give you the time of day? No, but you get a lot more women giving you the time of day than if you didn't do all those things I just said a second ago. Come on. With that said, I feel like society, culture, the state, whoever subsidizes and creates tons of initiatives for women, which help to make them comfortable and not need men. Men historically were providers, valued for utility. Now they're not needed in that way. I can tell you've been hanging around the MGTOW community and the manosphere community. And I got to tell you, that's called the toxic red pill community. Another coach out here that I value the most is Coach Corey Wayne. He says the same thing. You guys have to stop listening to and following the manosphere and, MGTOW and any red pill content creator. These are very angry and bitter men, right, that went through a divorce and were taken for a ride financially, right? And these are men that were at fault, at least partially at fault why the woman divorced him, because the guy was never around, right? And these guys never owned up to their mistakes, even though half the mistake was theirs, right? So you guys are being brainwashed by these angry and bitter, red pill guys. I can tell by the way you're writing this, dude. I used to be a part of that community years ago. And I had a really great girlfriend as well back in those days, 4 or 5 years ago. And I was very happy with her. But being a part of these groups made me angry and bitter. And that's part of the reason why she left me, right? I mean, I was always good to her, but I was always arguing these guys online. And it was a big shit show. Stay away from that crap. And that's what has helped create programs for women. The fact that so many bio dads bail when a child is in the picture. Then they are free to go off and procreate again while the women traditionally carry the burden of raising the kids. Well, there's child support and many laws, and those laws need to be in place for deadbeat dads. Okay, dads and moms should have to prove their parenting skills before they are allowed to bring a second child into the world. Well, it'd be nice if things could be that way, but no one's going to sit around and tell you when you can't have sex, or why is your woman not on birth control if she doesn't want to get pregnant right now, right? No one's going to sit there and police your sex life within your own home, right? So that was kind of ridiculous to say there, right? I know it sounds like China in a way, but China's one-child rule wasn't a merit system. If it was, and parents had the provability to support that child, it would be a different story. The thing in China was about population. The country was getting overly populated, so they had to do something to control the population. Okay, that's why they did that. This is a completely different thing, man. I mean, what did a woman do in the 1930s or 40s? If a man decided to bail on his family, where would this woman have worked? Well, they didn't have the same rights they have nowadays. That's why women fought for rights and got them for shit like this. And I can't blame women for fighting for rights. I think women should have always had the same rights and be treated fairly. The problem now is that a lot of women have let that get to their head, and a lot of women are doing jobs that were once only jobs known as jobs that men would do, and it requires them to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy. And it's fine if they do that at work, but a lot of women get used to exuding that masculine energy, and then they come and exude that masculine energy when they come home to their man. And to me, it's not attractive, right? So yeah, I get it. What would she do without a breadwinner? She was screwed. Women were dependent on men for survival. They were dependent on men for survival back then. But even back then, men started to become deadbeats, right? And the women were left to fend for themselves, right? So that's why they fought and got these equal rights. You can't blame them. You can't blame them. To a certain extent, you can't blame them. But the ones that take advantage of the system, yeah, we just kind of ignore those. Yeah, there are women that take advantage of the system, but for the most part, women being liberated and these laws, have helped cut back on the deadbeat dads. That wasn't fair to women. I'm a man saying that it wasn't fair to women, right? Maybe she has 4 or 5 kids. Who will take care of the kids when she has to go to a job? Well, she couldn't even get a job back then because that was before women were liberated. The stigma alone of being abandoned must have been awful. Abandonment can still affect a woman to this day. And again, I've been talking about this throughout some of my, live streams for my walks, my Walking with Purpose live streams. My lady has a story to share. I've shared part of her story on a live stream out here about a couple months ago or so, but there's a whole lot more to that story, and we're going to interview her here on my channel in the next maybe 2 to 3 or 6 months or something like that. We're going to do it pre-recorded, and we're not going to show her face or use her real name to protect her, obviously, because I've got trolls that just want to, they're dying to find out who she is. They can harass her, her family, her friends, and everything, right? Anything they can figure out to try to knock me down, right? Especially one super troll that's watching me right now. Sir, are you watching me right now? How you doing tonight, sir? You going to thumb me down and continue to troll me and Lewis Fuller and some other people? Hope your night's going well, sir. I pray that one day you can rise above this and just, do something more productive with your time. Anyway, it's all good. I tried, right? Let's see here. The programs you talk about to help women cope trying to raise kids on their own exist because so many women were abandoned with kids by their spouses. That happened back in the days, especially more so in the early to mid-50s, okay? So that's when women really stepped up and they finally got their rights. And I'm not saying that there aren't any issues of this happening nowadays, but there are laws in place. There's child support, there's spousal support. There's a lot of stuff in place that does protect women from having to deal with this. And quite frankly, I don't care what any man says. Hey, if you're the breadwinner as a man and you want a housewife nowadays to take care of your kids, right? And she divorces you and takes half your money and takes the kids, that means there's something that was lacking within you, okay? Maybe you weren't good to her. Maybe you stopped being romantic with her. Maybe you stopped taking her on dates, okay? There are things these guys don't understand, that when you get married, and even if you're the sole provider, the breadwinner, you still need to do the same things you did with your wife before you got married. Take her on dates, make love to her all the time. No matter how tired you are from work, you still need to make time for your wife. Or then she will divorce you, and then I personally feel she's entitled to half your shit because you weren't doing your part in the marriage. A lot of these guys don't see it that way. And that's what's created the angry and bitter red pill community that I suggest no one follows. Follow content like myself that's a little bit more, helpful and a little bit more. Give me a second here. It's better content. Let's just put it that way. It's more helpful. It's more reasonable. That's the best way to put it. All right, folks. Let's go back to full screen. We are at 53 minutes. Let's go back to full screen here. Yeah. You like the background tonight? It is a beautiful shot of the Golden Gate Bridge, right? If I just go ahead and turn off my video for a second. That's a beautiful image of the Golden Gate Bridge right back here. I got this from Canva, and I have a paid license to use Canva. It's one of their pro pictures. It is absolutely beautiful. I put it through Photoshop and I enhanced it a little bit. I just think it looks amazing. And if you're wondering, what is this jacket here I'm wearing? This wool jacket, right? You got to look for great deals, folks. Join the email lists of Under Armour, of REI Garage, REI Outlet. I got this jacket from REI. It was a closeout. It feels great. It's actual wool. Okay, it feels amazing, right? It's like a jacket sweater. I think it's called a sweater, but it looks like a jacket, right? And it doesn't keep me too warm, but it prevents me from getting cold too. Jacket brand new retail was $160. I got it on closeout for $63. You got to look for deals like that. I only share this not to show off. I like looking good on camera. Folks, you can look good whether you're a guy or a gal. You can look good with top of the line expensive clothing. Buy them on closeout. Wait a year, for them to put stuff on closeout. And then buy it for more than half. I got this it was like 70% off, right? So just in case you're wondering. And yeah, the collar doesn't stay down. I tried to put the collar down like this, which would look pretty good, like this. Okay, that looks even better, right? But then if I move around, the collar starts to pop back up. It was more so made to be like a neck collar, like this. So anyway, that is that. So all right, let's cue up some royalty-free YouTube music, and we're going to step away and take a quick break, and then we have 3 more Reddit postings. This is interesting. Why is the thumbnail on my current stream different? I don't understand. This is weird. Give me a second. What is going on here? It looks like the old thumbnail is showing in my feed, but the right thumbnail is showing below. Well, I really don't know what's going on. So we'll have to figure that out another time. Let me just check one more thing here. I wonder if I can just switch this up real quick again. I mean, I don't think there are 2 instances of this show out there, but that's just really weird. Give me a second, folks. Okay, I'm going to change this again right now and see if it gives me an update. Give me just a second. Just very, very weird. It's showing the old dating advice for men and women, volume 10 thumbnail. On the back end, I have this totally new thumbnail here. Yeah, it is just not updating. So, screw it. We'll just figure it out another time. Let's cue up some royalty-free YouTube music and step away for the break. Let's see here. What do I want to play? Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Let's see. That's 1. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. That's 3. And what else do I want? Let's see. All right. Music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for about a 10-minute break or so. When we get back, we've got 3 more Reddit stories. We are first going to go over to the subreddit, relationship_advice, and the original poster's topic is best friend to boyfriend, second thoughts. One more time, best friend to boyfriend, second thoughts. So they were best friends first, and then they became boyfriend and girlfriend. Like I've said before, it never works. So you know how that's going to go. So stick around for that. Then we're going to go over to the subreddit seduction, and the original poster's title is Dating App Trick for Seemingly Low-Interest Girls. Dating app trick for seemingly low-interest girls. Okay. And finally, last but not least, we're going to go over to the subreddit relationships, and the original poster's title is How Do I, 25F, 25 female, talk to my boyfriend, 30 male, about money? One more time. How do I, 25 female, talk to my boyfriend, 30 male about money. Ooh, save the best for last. So that's what you have to look forward to after the break. So stick around. Stick around. Stick around. Round. We'll be right back. We're back! Yeah, Information Man Show is in the house. Stick around, we're going to give him a little plug here in a second. Information Man Show is the man. Hey, this is my outro song into my end screen at the end of the show in its entirety by Ethan Mixell. Yeah, woo! I feel good. Do you feel good? I feel pumped up. I feel rejuvenated. I feel great. How do you feel tonight? Yeah, oh man. I gotta lower this. I gotta lower it because you can't hear me with that Ethan Mixell electric guitar. Whoa. Ethan Mixell is my absolute most favorite artist within the YouTube audio library. Music that is safe and free from copyright strikes and copyright claims, so you can fully monetize your videos. All right, march on, Ethan Mixell. All right, everyone. Yeah, we're back. We are back. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube. Glad you could all join me here tonight. If you're here live, it is Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. If you're here down the road watching the replay, hey, stick around. It's evergreen content. You're not missing anything. Hey, you know what? If you would like to check out Information Man Show's channel, he's in the chat right now. He's a moderator here on the channel. He's a great guy. He's got a great channel. He's been really growing tremendously lately. You've been really growing, bro, and I'm really super proud of you, man. Really super proud of you. And I think he has like 12, almost 13K subs, and he's a good guy. Talks about the latest stuff. When I get a chance, I'll tune in for a bit. But him and I are just extremely busy doing our thing. I am hoping sometime later this year, maybe Information Man Show and I can do some collabs and stuff like that. Maybe do some live streams together and have some interesting conversations. Just going to try to grow this thing a little bit more, so I can bring you a little more value, my friend. But thank you so much for being here. Just type in Information Man Show into the YouTube search bar, and you will find his channel. It's the one with like 12K subs. I think you're closing in on 13. And he's just an awesome person. Very humble, very down to earth, very genuine, very realistic. And he's actually a local to me. He lives here in Northern California. He's in the Sacramento area. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. We are a couple hours apart from each other by car. And who knows, maybe one day we'll meet in person and do something together in person, brother. Now that this COVID thing is under control, man. I'm fully vaccinated, bro, with my booster. So I'm all good, right? Do I look all good, bro? You tell me, man. Yeah, hello to you as well, Information Man Show. I don't know if you heard my little rant there. One more thing before we get back to business here as Ethan Mixell wraps up his crazy guitar rips there. Oh, man, that was insane, man. That was insanity there. Folks, just one more thing here. If you feel it in your heart and soul, and if you are getting value from the content I produce out here on my Coach Eli, Elias Melas channel, you can make a donation, a one-time donation in any amount. If you look at the bottom of the chat, there's a super chat there. You can send a highlighted message, of any amount up to $500. And the greater the donation, the longer your message will stay highlighted at the top of the chat. You can also send a super sticker if you'd rather just do that by clicking that $ as well. If you would prefer to donate via Cash App or PayPal, Nightbot is sharing my links every 7 minutes in the chat. And my PayPal and Cash App links are also below in the description. Donations are not required, but they are greatly appreciated. I'll be honest with you folks. Part of being successful on YouTube and running a successful business involves, tuning the YouTube algorithm and targeting the right audience. And right now, just to be real honest with you, The majority of my subscribers and the majority of people that get recommended my content are not really here for the right reasons. Some things happened in the past. I got involved with some groups, and it's been very, very difficult to get my content out to the right people. So, it's going to keep on getting better. I'm going to keep pushing forward. I will ask the good people out there that do enjoy my content to please share out my content to people that you feel would get great value and would appreciate it and would learn from it. That will also help retune YouTube's recommendation system and their algorithm with the right people. So again, I would appreciate that. But I just wanted to be transparent and make people aware of, what's going on. For a channel that's closing in on 5,000 subscribers, I've only got 4 people here, and that's okay, not a problem. But for that to be happening, everything I just mentioned there a second ago or here a second ago is the reason why. And again, I'm not angry, I'm not bitter. I got 7 likes here, and I appreciate that. But that's what's going on. And it's just, it's been a learning curve for me, trying to figure out, how YouTube works over the last 5 years that I've been, doing this full time on the platform. So anyway, besides that, let's get right back to it. We got 3 more Reddit postings to go over. Let's switch on over back to the browser screen and get to the next one. This is from the subreddit relationships_advice. And the original poster's title is Best Friend to Boyfriend. Second thoughts. One more time. Best friend to boyfriend. Second thoughts. Let's read what this lady wrote. I already know this is going to go. I've read it before I went live. Or I read it before I went live. But I already knew where it was going to go based on the title because I've talked about this stuff before. Okay. So my boyfriend and I have been together for almost 10 years. However, beforehand, we were best friends for almost 3 years. There's the problem, ma'am. You were best friends with this guy for 3 years. Okay? Typically, a romantic attraction is either going to happen instantaneously or it will never happen, right? That's why, when I was single back in the days before I met my lady, if I ever encountered a woman that said, let's be friends first and get to know each other and see where it goes from there, I'm like, no thanks. I'm not interested in being just friends. I'm only looking for something romantic, right? If it's not there from the very beginning, it's never going to be there, right? But a lot of people don't realize that when you're younger, you don't know that. I didn't know that when I was younger, but that's just the way it is. Either there from the very beginning or we'll never be there. Trying to do the BS thing of being friends first, no, it never works. We got really drunk one night and kissed each other. Ooh, maybe you both were horny and stuff, right? At first, our relationship was great because it was new. And you two had never been intimate before. And you basically took a 3-year friendship into the promised land, right? Our relationship was great at first, or so I thought. I feel as though I was almost starstruck over the fact and not actually in love. No, you were getting a thrill that the man you've been best friends with or close friends with for 3 years or so took it to the next level. Maybe you felt that way initially, but he never pushed things forward. Maybe he was dating somebody else during that time. Who knows? Okay. Let's see. So I feel as though I was almost starstruck with the fact and not actually in love. The past 2 months I've been having second thoughts. I can 100% tell that there's love in our relationship. The nights we spend together are always amazing, not in the sexual manner. That's the problem, ma'am. A relationship has to be primarily in a sexual manner. It's not everything. But if you don't feel that large rush or spark of sexual attraction towards your partner, even when you're not having sex, it's not going to work out. You're not seeing him as, a romantic, mate. You're seeing him as like a friends with benefits or a fuck buddy or something like that. But him and I are also polar opposites. There's the problem. You don't have a lot in common. So that is affecting you. Maybe the sex is great, but nothing else is there. And that's not going to sustain the relationship. He's a football nerd, loves rap music, and dressed clean. Okay, so he's in good shape probably. He likes rap music. A little bit of rap music is okay every now and then, no problem. I even like that. And dressed clean, so he's clean cut and dressed like myself. You, me, You are a goth girl, very into heavy metal, goth, emo-like music, always dressing extra, does makeup for zero reasons, etc. Him and I are also both gamers, but every time I play with him, he never encourages me, always calls me trash, not in a cute or fun way, and it just seems negative. Because that's how he sees you, man. Here's the thing. Nothing wrong with being a goth girl and doing all that, but for a clean-cut guy, that is a polar opposite. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just the truth, right? And I encountered a lot of goth girls in my life, and they were cute and they had great bodies, right? But their outlook on life was different, right? So I never got with them, right? I would talk with them, through dating sites, and maybe meet up with them, but nothing happened. It was just like a friendly conversation that didn't go anywhere because, I just wasn't into what she was into, despite the fact that there was sexual attraction probably on both sides, which is what's happening here. You can't relate in any other way besides sex, and that's not going to sustain a relationship. That's the bottom line. Let's see here. And it just seems negative. Everything he does, says it is always in a negative manner. That's because he's not into you, ma'am. You're not his cup of tea, besides intimacy. He also doesn't care to learn about the oddities or music I'm into because he's not into it. It bores him. You guys are not meant to be together in that way. Quite frankly, you're probably not even meant to be together as friends or be friends because you have different things that you like to do and different outlooks on life. I feel as though he could care less. He doesn't care. Not in that way. He's not trying to be rude. He's just not into what you're into. And you're not into what he's into. Right? I'm scared because I can tell him and I have love for each other, but I don't think we're in love with each other. You have a friendly type of love and you guys were better off as friends than lovers. You pushed it to a relationship because you're sexually attracted to each other. Maybe you're great lovers, but there's nothing else keeping you together. There's no emotional bond. You don't share similar interests. It's just not fun to be around each other besides sex. And you both want more than that to sustain something. That's what it is. I don't want to break his heart, but I don't know where to start. I don't see us being compatible with each other because you're not. You're obviously not. You know the answer to that. And the longer you take to break it off with him, the more it's going to hurt you both. Any advice is appreciated. Edit. He also never buys me anything because he's not into you in that way. He doesn't feel it for you romantically. He doesn't feel a connection with you, relationship-wise. Like, you're probably, very attractive, physically nice body and stuff, but maybe you do your hair goth style and he's not attracted to that, right? But you know what? Some guys back in my younger days, not me, but a lot of my guy friends, they would just bang anything that walks that was reasonably cute. Didn't mean they were going to date them, right? That's how he sees you. I got a lecture because I wanted a $3 iced coffee. Well, there's nothing wrong with buying your lady a $3 iced coffee every now and then if you're really into her. But if you're not, why do you want to waste a penny on her? Or you even waste a penny on her? His mom is actually insane. Ma'am, we don't know if she's insane or not. You might just be saying that because you're frustrated here. He had to surrender his dog. I don't know. Everything is just crazy. I truly don't know what to do. Ma'am, there's no compatibility here. It's time for you both to move on. That is the bottom line. Let's get to the comments section and read what the crowd said. Okay. Run away. You are right. You two are not made for each other. Sometimes best friends make the worst lovers. I could not have said it better myself. Big round of applause. That sums it up. That's it. Maybe he can just remain your best friend. No, I think these two just need to part ways amicably, right? Maybe they'll, pass by each other in town every now and then, but they both need to just move on and find someone that is more compatible with them besides just sex and physical attraction. I hook up with my best friend once in a while because we cannot resist each other, but it is so wonderful and just that. No demands, and we are friends and discuss our personal love life. Neither is in a serious relationship. We would cut the sexual stuff if we were into somebody else. So basically, you're space fillers for each other, right? Right? You're like the fill-in. You're like the fill-in guy for your lady friend, and she is, the fill-in, for you. That's what it is. You're fill-ins for each other until that person comes along. I mean, I'm not into that kind of stuff. I never have been, but, if that works for you, that's fine. As long as you both are honest with each other, and you'll be okay when, one side finds somebody before the other side. That's all that matters there. The original poster comments below, "Oh, that's sweet. That might be the best for us, honestly. While we're not seeing anyone else, we can do what we want, cuddle, sex, whatever, but I truly think we're just better as being friends." Well, I mean, ma'am, allowed it to get sexual, right? So now that you're sexual, you're a little more than just friends. Just being friends, doesn't involve sex. Maybe you're friends with benefits. Maybe you two really do care about each other, and maybe you're physically attracted to each other, but your lifestyles are polar opposites, like you said, and that's just not going to work. In order for a relationship to work with someone, yeah, the sex has to be good and there has to be physical attraction. You folks have that, right? But there are going to be lots of times where you're not having sex and you're going on walks, hikes, and when you're on those hikes, you want to have someone to talk to about something or talk with about something that you both can relate to. And if that's not happening, then what do? Go on a hike and just not talk and be quiet, right? I mean, that's the problem right there. Let's see here. Where are we? Oof, I don't think separate interests are the problem. It is the problem. You're wrong there. I've never been a believer in joined at the hip, coupledom being best. You don't have to have everything in common, but you need to have more in common than not, or it's just not going to work out. My husband and I share some interests. That's why you're together. But it is our values that provide the glue to our relationship. These two sound like they have nothing in common besides sex and physical attraction, right? And maybe emotionally supporting each other through, rough times. They don't have anything in common outside of the bedroom. The issue here is that your BF is negative, judgmental, and apparently disinterested in learning more about you. That's not it. He's coming off that way because, he doesn't want to hurt her either, but he just has nothing in common with her outside of the bedroom. They both have a complete opposite of things they like to do outside of the bedroom. They're complete opposites, which is what I'm trying to say, outside of the bedroom, right? So, he doesn't want to hurt her. She doesn't want to hurt him. They've been friends for a long time, and he's putting up with it, and he really wants to tell her, and that's what's making him come off negative and judgmental and stuff. And maybe he's trying to get her to realize that, hey, maybe if you change a few things, I'll be able to be around you more often and we can work something out. But here's the thing, you can't change anyone. You either accept them for who they are or not. And typically, like I said, for things to work out, you have to have more things in common than not. And there's nothing in common here. That's the bottom line. It's only been 10 months and he's already insulted you and appears to put zero effort into showing you appreciation or consideration. It sounds like to me he is also acting this way because he doesn't want to be with her in that way anymore. And she's trying to get him, and he's trying to get her, to dump him before he has to do it. Because if she dumps him, then it'll hurt her less and, it won't make him feel as bad, right? That's what I think is happening here, in my opinion. This is very much when couples are normally still in the honeymoon phase and on their best behavior to impress their partner. No, the honeymoon phase is 3, maybe 6 months max, typically 3 months. They're 10 months into it. They know more than enough about each other to know whether there's compatibility or not. My lady and I have been together 5 months, almost 6 months, and we knew pretty much within the first few months how compatible we were. This is bullshit. This is BS. Sorry. Can you take a minute to imagine what he'll be like with you in 2 years if this is how he treats you already? He's not into her. She should just leave him. He's trying to give her a hint. He doesn't want to hurt her. I know I wouldn't want to stick around for that, do you? Well, she's sticking around. That's on her. Why would she come out here on Reddit and post about this instead of just talking with him and saying, it's not working for me. We need to part ways. If not, it's okay to tell him that you think you guys are better as friends and you'd like to take some distance from him until you are both ready to be just friends again. Now, once you cross the line from friendship into relationship and it doesn't work, then you give up everything. It'll never go back to the way it was. This is bad advice because you guys are young and don't have experience to know any better. That's the bottom line. It's the bottom line. Give me a second here. Sounds like you know exactly what to do, but you're lacking the courage to do it. That's what it is. Big round of applause. One more time. Sounds like you know exactly what to do, but you're lacking the courage to do it. And look what she says below. I am. And that's as far as it goes. Nothing more to share here. Yep, ma'am. The longer it takes for you to find the courage to end this, the more miserable and misery you're going to encounter. Yeah, I was young once too. And, you know, when these people don't put enough information out, such as how old they are, you know, that kind of affects you from making a fair assessment. But you can assume these two are probably somewhere in their mid-20s at the latest. They're inexperienced. They're going to figure it out. That's what it all boils down to. All right. Let's go to the next one here. This is from the subreddit Seduction, and the original poster's title is Dating App Trick for Seemingly Low-Interest Girls. Dating App Trick for Seemingly Low-Interest Girls. Well, they're either interested or not. If they have low interest, what type of trick is going to miraculously change them? Give me a second here. 1 second. I just had to put out a text there. All right, we're all good. And here's what they wrote. Typically, when a dating app convo is going well, the girl is asking questions and I can naturally lead the interaction towards getting her number and setting up a date. Well, that's the way it should go. However, this only happens with maybe 10% of matches. Well, that is true. So let's talk about this like I've talked about it before. Okay? Now, let's say that as a guy, you're an average to decent looking guy. If you're a below average guy, you're going to have really no luck on dating apps. You need to be at least average to a little above average looking, or if you're extremely good looking, you'll have the best luck, right? And even average to slightly above average guys, this is where I think this guy's at, are going to have, you know, luck and they're going to have success. But here's what happens. So let's say you're on a swipe left, swipe right app, right? Let's say like Bumble or something, right? You swipe right on 100 girls that you're interested in. And let's say that, 10% of them, they connect with you, right? And they, match with you and you start chatting. Out of those 10 women, you're probably more than likely going to get maybe 1 to 2 phone numbers and maybe 1 date, and it might work out. If not, you're going to have to repeat the process again, right? That's what happens. So what he's saying here is pretty typical of the average everyday guy that's looking to get a date. That's a decent guy, takes care of himself, kind of like a guy like myself, right? Okay. I'd say about 50% of matches fall into the responsive but low interest category. You're right. Because, when they come across you, you might have been the most attractive, physically attractive guy with your pictures and had the best resonating profile. But as they connected and matched with more guys, and remember, women are matching with way more guys than you are with girls because of the thirsty beta males. their interest is going to change with as they connect with more guys. And that's why you have to understand this. I'd say about 50% of matches fall into the responsive but low interest category. It's just because you're not the most physically attractive guy according to your pictures, and also with what you wrote in your profile compared to other guys they've connected with after they connected with you. Okay? You're just sitting there on backup status in essence. Okay? A woman that's really into you is going to communicate from the very beginning and continue to communicate with you fairly quickly, daily, and want to exchange numbers fairly quickly. And she's going to want to exchange numbers very quickly, which is what I'm trying to say, and then take it to the phone. And if that goes well, then you meet and see what happens, right? The girl responds to my first few messages but doesn't ask questions back and overall seems uninvested in the conversation. I've said this before, I'll say it again. When I was single before I met this woman, like sometimes women would just send me a Giphy saying, hi, and I wouldn't respond to that. I'd block them. What's that going to do? It shows no effort. A woman that's into you is going to make effort by saying, hi, Bob. It's great to match with you on Bumble. You know, you seem like a decent guy. You have great pictures, and I love your profile. I would love to get to know you better. You know, let me know if you're interested. That's what a woman that has a high level of interest will say. Women that just want to keep you on backup status in case all their better options fail will send you a Giphy and will just shoot back a one or two word response or get back to you every couple days. Okay? Don't get upset about that. Just don't focus on them. Focus on the ones that show you a high level of interest. That's the bottom line, right? I used to ghost these girls after getting tired of their bland responses, but now I've been using a last resort method that's actually given some success. In some cases, you can turn it around. But it's going to be a lot of work. And nowadays, at the pace life is moving, most people don't have time to put in the effort to turn something around that didn't have a large rush or spark of sexual attraction and interest from the very beginning. So I like the way you handled it the first time. You should keep handling it that way. But revisiting something, you know, and shooting a last resort message of desperation typically doesn't work. It can work at times, but usually doesn't. It's not worth the time investment, to be honest with you. After her third or fourth bland response, I simply say, hey, I'm not on here much, text me, and then I leave my number. No, dude, you don't do that. They have to earn your number. You never, ever, this is the thing. Guys, you never, ever, 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 ever give a woman your number first through dating apps. You want to know why? You ask them for theirs. Because if they actually give you their number, then there's a better chance to have a higher level of true interest for you. You just throwing out your number? Come on, dude. What do you expect them? Oh, just call me as a last resort if Chad and Tyrone are busy tonight and don't want to get with you, right? Come on, man. That's like a desperation thing. Here's my number. Just throw out your number to every single woman out there, and maybe one will text you out of the blue. No, dude. That's displaying low value, right? A high value man is going to ask a woman for her number. And if she's interested, she will give him her number. If she makes excuses, oh, I don't give my number out, too many weirdos, people can look you up on the internet, they can stalk you. If they give you all that crap, just move on. Just move on. Okay? This forces the girl to make the effort and text me if she wishes to continue the convo. It is a low percentage move, but it is better than the 0% success rate that ghosting got me. Some women deserve to get ghosted, and sometimes you deserve to get ghosted, bro. Okay? How about turning around and ask her for her number? Hey, I would love to get to know you. You seem pretty cool. If you'd like to send me your number, let me know, and I'll text you to arrange a phone call so we can better get to know each other. And leave it up to her in that way, right? Instead of just throwing out your number like a sick puppy dog, brother. Come on, dude. If she doesn't get back to you, then you know. If she gets back to you and says, I don't give out my number, then you know. Then you move on. I recently got laid off. This move had totally written the girl off as she was pulling no effort into the convo, so I threw my number out there. Dude, why are you focusing so much energy on one woman? Or one woman, I mean. There are so many fish in the sea. She must have been super hot. You must have been enamored by her, dude. You can't let that happen, bro. You got to know your value. And right now, you're probably really young and you don't know your value. Okay? Turns out she hates messaging on apps, and her conversation skills completely changed once she texted me. No, dude, that's not it. She doesn't hate messaging on apps. No woman hates all that. They hate wasting their time with the wrong guy and doing that with the wrong guy. With the right guy that a woman's enamored, she will message him on any. My woman, right? My woman would message me anywhere she could, any time of the day. Now, we have been dating for almost 6 months, and she has my phone number, and she texts me directly. But that's BS, man. If a woman's really into you, she will use any method to reach out to you regularly. Come on, bro. Again, this is a last resort move. It doesn't magically make the girl more interested. It's worked about 3 out of 15 times for me, but that's better than nothing. Dude, it's almost like you're forcing the girl to feel attraction for you. Don't you want a woman to feel a natural level of attraction for you, bro? Because here's the thing. If you can convince a girl to start talking with you, and even if you get her phone number, and you have to do it through this brute force method, right? When you meet up with her, that chemistry is more than likely not going to be there, and then you're wasting time just getting ready and setting up a date and meeting her, bro. This method is not good, bro. It's not good. Yeah, sometimes the second time around, can work. It's rare. But in my opinion nowadays, with life moving at the speed of light, it's not worth the extra energy. There are more women out there that you'll be more compatible with that'll make it a lot easier for you, bro. You're making it way too difficult on yourself. Ask for her number. Put the ball in her court. You're the man. You're busy. You got shit to do. Hey, if you want to talk sometime and get to know each other through a phone call, and see if we can set up a time to meet, send me your number and I'll text you to arrange a call. Have a great day and hope to hear from you soon. Take care. Right. That's it. Leave it at that and move on. That's it. TLDR, if match is giving bland responses, give them your number instead of ghosting. Nope, I disagree with that. If you're a guy, never, ever, ever offer your number to a woman. Never, ever offer your number to a woman. Because what's she going to do with that, right? Ask for her number, right? Ask for her number. And just say, hey, you know what? You seem cool. I'd love to get to know you. I'd love to talk with you by phone, see how that goes. If that goes well, then we can set up a time to meet by phone. If you'd like to send me your number, I'll text you to arrange a call. Okay? And a lot of women, they'll say, why don't we talk through the app? A lot of these apps have phone, you can make a phone call through the app, right? In a safe, discreet way. I would always tell these women back in those days, when I was using these apps before I met my woman, that the built-in phone on the app doesn't work well for me with frequent disconnects. It's bullshit. It works just fine. It's just that I wanted to invest something, right? Until you get the number from the woman, she's not investing shit, right? You have her number. If she's really interested, she'll give you her number, because with someone's number, you can look them up. You can find out everything about them nowadays, background checks and all that shit, right? That's why women don't like giving their numbers out. So for me, back in those days, when I was looking for a woman before I found the woman I'm with, that was the test to see if they were really into me. If they didn't give me their number and wanted to talk through the app, then I'd be gone. I'd ghost them. Come on, dude. You're a man. Your time is valuable. You don't need any BS or, anyone to waste your time. If they make the effort to text you, it proves they have more interest than it seems. Dude, I get your point, but you ask them for their number, and if they give you their number, then it proves they have more interest than it seemed. or they just had interest all along. All right, let's read a few comments here before we get to the last dating story of the night here. We are at 1 hour and 45 minutes. Let me see here. Give me a second here. Do. Give me a second here. All right. Most of the girls I've seen on Tinder act like lifeless zombies, whereas meeting a girl in real life, even if I don't have anything to talk about, seems to be a better deal. Well, most women are on Tinder for hookups. Okay? You don't go on Tinder to meet women, good women, for a real relationship. I mean, it's not impossible, but Tinder is not the best place to find a good woman, in my opinion, or even a good man. You folks should already know that. Why have you folks not figured out that Tinder is not a site where you typically go to for something genuine? You go there for something quick. Too many guys messaging them. That's it. That's it. That's what happens. This is the answer. They are in a sea full of hey there. Some of them are just trying to make it down the queue. That's what it is, right? So why don't you go to sites like Match.com, where women are specifically looking more so for relationships. That's where I met my lady. That's where I met my last several girlfriends, right? You could possibly try Bumble and Hinge. They're the next best thing, but they're swipe left and swipe right apps, right? Or X and check, whatever, how it used to be when I used to use Hinge, right? Tinder is just a meat market, and the attractive women are literally getting bombarded with hundreds and hundreds of connections each day, swipes each day. It's fucking sad when guys are generic as fuck and then whine why they don't get responses. Like, try something different than hey, perhaps. Right. And that's a great point there. Big round of applause. Yeah, I said the same thing. You get women that will send you Giphies saying hi. It takes no effort, right? She's probably sending that same Giphy to the 100 guys she matched with because she's overwhelmed. Just wants to keep the match open, right? Put you on backup status. Like I said, the best way to do it is say, hey, hey, Jane, hey, Julie, hey, Jackie. It's great to connect with you here on whatever app, Hinge, Match, Bumble, whatever, right? Right? You have a great profile. I really like what you wrote in your profile. You seem to know what you want. Seeking the same thing. And, you look very happy in your pictures. It would be nice to get to know you better. Let me know if you want to chat by phone sometime, and we can go from there. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, how about you send me your number, and I will text you to arrange a call later this evening or tomorrow. It has to go boom, 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 right? But this guy is right. Yeah, people just say, hey, 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 hey. And the women are more so doing that to guys they're not attracted to or as attracted to, right? Because they want to keep everyone on backup status, right? And it's a validation thing. Oh, I've got like 500 matches open on Tinder, but there are only 10 hot guys I'm interested in, but I'm going to keep the other 490 open because I can go show off to my friends that, wow, how many matches do you have, girl, right? It's a validation thing, too. When writing to your matches, keep it fun and uplifting. Show your sense of humor. Someone posted a guide here one day that was pretty helpful on online game. I changed up my profile pics, bio, text, and started to become real creative when opening with the first text. You guys, you can stand out by putting good quality pictures that are maybe you going hiking. Maybe one of them could be a business formal picture. Another could be on a hiking trail. Another could be, anything, right? Just, and you want to put out, I'd say, at least 6 pictures, 5, 6 pictures. And the majority of your pictures need to be full body shots. Maybe 1 or 2 headshots and 3 or 4 full body shots so people can see what kind of shape you're in. That's the best way to do it. And high quality, high resolution photos. We have smartphones nowadays that can do minimum 12 megapixel photos, right? So for people that have, crap resolution pictures and stuff like that, and some people are going like onto their Facebook or Instagram and screenshotting pictures in crap quality. You can see it's from Instagram because it's cropped out, right? Come on, make it look a little bit more professional. And then write, what you're looking for. Take the time to fill in each section, right? Get your grammar and spelling proper and on point. And then when you communicate in paragraphs, not in short sentences or, like you reach out to somebody and say, HRU, like, how are you, right? I'm doing great. And then she'll get back and say, HBU, how about you, right? I wouldn't deal with that crap back in those days, right? You're not a robot. You're a human being. Act like a human being and set up your profile like a real human being and respond like a human being, and you'll see a tremendous difference. My biggest mistake was that I didn't know how to get the girl out on a date. Well, you gotta, first of all, have a good profile, like you were just saying and I was saying, and then you gotta know how to talk with her, send a few messages through the dating app or dating site in complete sentences. Be nice, be down to earth, and you got to get her on the phone, have a conversation with her and see how that goes. And then ask her out on a day. Hey, if it sounds cool, you're getting along, you sound really cool. I'd love to hang out with you sometime. If you feel the same, how about we meet for a walk or something and just do something simple and see how it is in person, right? That's all you got to do. And she's either going to say yes or no. That's it. That's all. I usually just talked for days and then it died out, but in reality, I had to do the opposite. You can't talk for days. You got to go boom, 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 right? Women have too many options, and some men that are at least above average or above average, right, are going to have multiple options too, right? When I was on the market on these apps and stuff, I had lots of options because I take care of myself. I know how to take good pictures. And I also write good profiles, and I know how to communicate with women. So I had lots of options to the point of where I was ghosting the majority of women because, they were just putting me through the ringer. And I'm like, no, it's got to be simple. And the lady I'm with right now made it real simple. And guess what? We've been together almost 6 months because she knew what it took to get a guy. She did. I usually got something like 1 match every 2 days, but now I get like 1 to 2 matches a day. So it's worth a read. That's not bad. That's not bad, but if you have better pictures and you take care of yourself and you have a well-written profile and you swipe on enough people, you should be getting more than that. Yeah, there are going to be days, there were days when I was single where I would get 0 matches. Some days I'd get 1 or 2. Some days I get 10, right? But remember, a lot of those conversations are going to remain open. And think about it. If you're a guy and you have 10 or 15 open matches, you're talking with 10 or 15 women, right? In essence, that's what's happening to women, but at a much greater level. It even gets overwhelming having 15 matches open. Now, if you're a guy that has that many matches open, now you have to narrow it down to 1 or 2 and then down to 1, right? It isn't until it happens to you that you understand what women go through and then you learn how to better handle it. Right? 91% of conversations on dating apps start with hey. 85% of conversations that start with hey never progress any further. Amen. Because there's no interest from the very beginning. A woman that's into you or a guy that's into you is going to write a paragraph and introduce themselves. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, what? Right? Like anytime back in those days, if I got a hey Giphy, they immediately got unmatched and blocked. right? Right on. LOL. Most of the girls I've seen on Tinder act like lifeless zombies. I think this is a woman. No, it's a man. And he responds to the previous comment up above and says, funny you say that. I've had it the opposite way around. Women act like lifeless zombies towards me in real life, but actually talk to me like a person on Tinder. Well, sometimes you might get lucky and find someone decent, even on an app that was more so made for hookups and stuff like that, friends with benefits, casual stuff, right? Right? You might get lucky, okay? And maybe you're just a really good-looking guy, and so that's why she's being nice to you. You never know. But the majority of people on Tinder are not looking for a relationship. So that's a unique experience, in my opinion. I solely use Bumble, but if I'm interested in getting drinks, I'll always say, hey, let's get drinks one night soon. Let me know which days you are free. If you'd rather, then just text me and leave my number. I haven't had a match not text me back. Well, here's the thing. I would never offer to take a woman out on drinks on the first date. I would never do anything that costs you money on a first date. Not because you're cheap, because you're looking to see how truly interested they are in you. And a woman that's truly interested in you for the right reasons will meet up with you for a walk in the late afternoon or a hike, or what I used to do and how I met my last lady. Meet him in the early evening at a Safeway parking lot, a supermarket parking lot, or at a mall parking lot, right? It's a safe place. It's well lit, but it's also nighttime, a little bit dark. You can sit in your car or her car and talk and maybe even make out a little bit if it feels right. You're looking to see if there's chemistry there before you have to invest anything financially. That's the thing. That's your test to see if a woman's really into you for the right reasons, right? Never, ever, ever say, hey, let's get drinks, right? Never, okay? You don't go for drinks or you don't go for dinners and stuff like that until after you've made out and you've been intimate together. Because then you know they're invested in you for the right reasons. Bottom line. I believe you, but honestly, I'm shocked this works. Well, see, anything can work, right? Anything at any time can work. You might get lucky. A woman might be just lonely one night and meet up with anyone. Anything can work, but the majority of times, the best way to do it is to give the woman your number. Okay? Not give the woman your number. Ask the woman for her number, and if she gives you her number, then text her to arrange a call later on that night or by the next day. Because if you wait too long, there's too many options and too many people flaking nowadays, and they'll just move on. Not because they weren't interested, because they're feeling like they're getting flaked on again. You got to keep it going, right? That's that. All right. So one more to go. And we are at 1 hour and 58 minutes. This is from the subreddit Relationships. And the original poster's title is Save the Best for Last here. How do I, 25F, talk to my boyfriend, 30M, about money? One more time. How do I, 25F, 25 female, talk to my boyfriend, 30M, 30 male, about money? When I first saw this, I was like, why the hell do you talk about money? But as I read it, it made a lot of sense. So, let me go down here. Sorry, this post has been removed by the moderators of our relationships. But yes, I do have the backup. Yeah. Let's switch over to it. There we go. There we go. Give me a second. Let me see if I can maximize this thing. I'm there. I think I'm there. Am I? Hold on. Yeah, that should be good right there. Okay. All right. So here's what she wrote. I found out that my boyfriend of 2.5 years makes a lot more money than I had thought. Well, you've been together for 2.5 years. If you didn't know how much he made by then, and you're talking about, getting serious, which is coming up later on in this posting, then maybe he's trying to hide something from you. Maybe he's not ready. I was working in his office the other day, and he had his W-2 sitting out. Why would you do that, dude? There's no need to keep that stuff out. You should, pull it out when you need it and then file it away when you're done with it. Don't leave it hanging out for anyone to see. Maybe he wanted you to see how much he was making. I don't know. After accounting for 401k contributions and health insurance, he makes about $175K. She's like, ding, 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 dollar signs. I'll be taken care of for life because he'll be getting, promotions and raises and 401k and all that stuff. We live in a tier 2 city in the Midwest. Our cost of living isn't outrageous, so making this much money as a single person means you are living very well. True, but you don't know what kind of toys he has. Okay, maybe he has a very nice car or a couple cars. Okay, maybe he has a house. Let's see where his money's going. I had no idea he makes this much money. He told me he has no savings. If he's making $175K a year and has no savings, it means that his bills are pretty tight. Now, I've known people that have made that much, but the majority of their money was going to their mortgage, especially out here in the San Francisco Bay Area where I live, where the cost of living is outrageous and the prices of homes are outrageous, right? He bought a home in late 2020, but had to pull money from his 401k for a down payment. Well, he's 30 years old. I'm assuming he's been making this much money for at least a couple of years. Before that, he was probably making 80 to 100K. He should have been able to put some money away. It sounds like to me that this guy is very irresponsible, right? And typically the most you can put away in a 401k within any company is 15 to 20% of your check. Typically 15%, some 20, right? So he, and wherever he's living at in the Midwest, your mortgage is not going to be that much. Even for a big, huge house, the mortgage should be no more than $2,000, maybe $2,500 a month, if that, maybe even less. And that would be for like a mansion being that much, right? And with 175K, even with 15 or 20%, in a 401, there's plenty of money left over. This guy is spending his money. Maybe he's gambling. Maybe he's paying for on the side thingies that you don't know about. But yeah, I mean, this would be a red flag for me too, ma'am. It really would. I don't blame you. Let's see. It is an averagely priced home, and he told me he has to live with his current roommate or else his mortgage is a stretch. Ma'am, he is bullshitting you. If this guy is making $175,000 a year, okay, making that much money and the amount of taxes he's going to pay, and he's a homeowner, he has write-offs and stuff, he's probably going to be clearing about $110,000 or something clear, right? Maybe 120, right? In 12 months, okay, he's bringing home somewhere around 10 to 12K a month take home after taxes, right? Okay. For an average home, even like a mansion in the Midwest, I mean, it will cost you no more than $2.5 to $3,000 a month. He's paying much less, right? Even if he had a car payment, $1,000 a month car payment, like this doesn't add up. This doesn't add up. And even with the 401k, even if you put a couple grand in 401k, this does not add up. This guy is spending money and doing something he's keeping from you. And it's probably gambling. It's probably drinking. It's probably, paying for things he should be only doing with you, ma'am. I don't really know where his disposable income is going if he has zero savings because he doesn't appear to live outside his means. Ma'am, he's either bullshitting you and he has tons of money and doesn't want you to know about it, or he's doing something else he doesn't want you to know about. Ma'am, you have the right to be wondering here, because if you two want to have a life together, he should be very transparent with you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay? He pays his bills, has a decent but high mileage used car. So this dude makes $175,000 a year and has a high mileage, a decent but high mileage used car. Minimal college debt, goes on a few domestic trips a year, and golfs in the summer, but no country club membership. He also likes to gamble. There you go, man. That's where his money's going. That's it, right there. That's it. He also likes to gamble, but I'm not going to jump to the worst possible conclusion here. Well, ma'am, you should, because none of this makes sense. Even before I read that, I already knew what the answer was. Wow. He's got a gambling addiction. That's what I'm guessing. We've been talking about marriage, and we are going to need to have an open conversation about finances. Well, ma'am, if I was you, I'd have that conversation and ask him to lay it all out open, right? You share with him. If you're going to get married, you got to show him your books. He has to show you your books. It's a figure of speech. It's all digital now, right? But you should know how much he makes. She should know how much you make. That's the bottom line. They should both know, what I'm trying to say, they should both know where they're at if they're going to get married. If not, it's none of their business. But if they're going to talk about marriage and moving forward, then two become one, right? But obviously, I think this guy's a gambling problem. And if that's the case, ma'am, I'd run for the hills. I wouldn't marry this guy. Maybe you can keep dating him. Maybe you can go to Gamblers Anonymous. Maybe you can turn it around. People can change, but they need to get the help, right? For the amount of money he's making, right? And him being as frugal as he is, for the amount of money he's making, his money is going somewhere such as gambling, prostitution, or anything like that. Let's see. So we've been talking about marriage, and we are going to need to have an open conversation about finances. I don't know how to bring up this conversation. You bring it up, ma'am, you're just fearing getting dumped. You're fearing upsetting him. And ma'am, you have every right to bring this up. Why are you going to marry a guy that is not being honest with you? I obviously have some concerns, but I don't know if they're unfounded. Ma'am, these are very valid concerns, ma'am. You're 25, you're young, you're inexperienced, but ma'am, your intuition is running through the roof, and you're right. Go with your intuition, ma'am. Women's intuition is typically spot on. I grew up in a pretty dysfunctional, financially insecure household, so I realized I have a more conservative approach to finances and generally more anxiety surrounding the topic. No, ma'am. Maybe you were a part of that, but you rose above it and you've made something out of yourself. I don't know how much you make, or what you do, but you sound to be a good person. You sound very responsible. Despite the irresponsibility you may have seen in your family growing up, you didn't want that to happen to you. And now, ma'am, I don't even know if I'd call it a conservative approach. I would call it the right approach. Ma'am, you have every right to feel the way you feel. And your female intuition is kicking into overdrive. I would listen to it because you're right. You're absolutely right. No doubt about it. TLDR, BF makes a lot of money but doesn't have any savings. Not sure to talk to him about our finances now that we are at a point in our relationship where we are considering marriage. Well, ma'am, I would take that offer off the table, at least for the time being, maybe permanently. I love how this sweater / jacket looks like with this background here. It looks really cool. Yeah. Ooh, man. All right, let's excuse me. Let's go back to the original screen here where the posting was removed because the comments are still there. And let's read a few comments and see what the audience, has to say, the people in the comment section have to say before we go off the air. We are at 2 hours and 9 minutes. Please get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We'll be going off the air probably in about 10 minutes or less. I had this surprise as well with my ex-fiance who made $125K. Turns out he was spending $3 to $4K a month on iTunes. Holy shit. 3 or 4K a month on iTunes. Holy Moses. What are you going to buy on iTunes for 3 to 4K a month? I mean, why not just get Spotify or, well, I'm not a big fan of Spotify. You can get Pandora, you can get Amazon Music, right? And get streaming music. How is that even possible? I agree. Big round of applause for that. How do you spend that much money on iTunes? That's a great question. Here's the answer. Buying iTunes gift cards and sending it to the Nigerian prince. Of course, silly. Big round of applause. That's right, the Nigerian scammer online, right? Excuse me. Damn. There we go. My coffee lid kept closing on me. I'm sorry. Ha 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 ha. Oh my God. Yeah. Mobile game addiction could be Genshin Impact, could be digital slots, could be FIFA Ultimate Team. That's true. There are gambling sites too. So it's gambling. These guys have a gambling addiction. They want to double and triple their money very easily. Yeah, I didn't realize how much people pay. I play one and maybe spend $10 a month, but some people are spending 15 to 20K a month. Had a few people in our alliance have to quit because their partners found out how much they were spending. Yeah, these guys have gambling addictions. Out of all the things you could spend 3 to 4K a month on, he chose iTunes. There are so many legal and illegal things you could buy with that money. All right. I mean, I don't focus on illegal things, but there are so many legal great things you can invest your money in better than 3 to 4K a month on iTunes. When I played Soul Hunter several years ago, there were whales who dropped over 1,000 a month on the game, so their name would be at the top of the leaderboard. It is not even that great of a game. Maybe these guys are just bored and, I don't know. There's just something missing from their lives. Or maybe, initially these sites, set up their algorithms to get them to win. So they get cocky and they start gambling, betting more. Then they lose. Then they want to win back what they lost. So they bet more. And then they keep losing. So they double up, try to win their money back, and they keep losing. Yeah, these sites are made to, these digital gambling gaming sites and gaming apps are set to make money. You guys just got to stop. I play a dress-up game and people drop thousands of real human dollars on that game. It's insane. They could have a real live version of that dress. I've dropped hundreds on Love Nikki in the past. Wow. I only use Google Rewards and it's still too much. LOL. One more reply. What is that if you don't mind asking? Okay. They didn't answer that. I read a horror story on Facebook the other day of a mom asking for help because she just found out her 9-year-old daughter charged over $900 worth of micro purchases on Animal Crossing. Pocket Camp to her card. Wow. This is why I don't give my nibblings my devices. Wow. The dress-up game I play currently has a spending boycott going on. I've spent maybe $40 or so on it in the past year and a half because playing it decreased my stress and anxiety during some hard times. That's what happens. If people get bored, they're alone, they have stress, anxiety, and they need something to keep them occupied to cure the blues, and it costs them. Okay? But now they just keep increasing the cost of things and adding more paid shit. And there are people who have spent $5K on this my game, whatever that means. What the heck? Okay, a couple more, then we're going to go off the air. Get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. A couple more, and we're out of here. I saw someone do the math once for the highest level 12, and it is something like 10K minimum if you make sure to buy the packs on sale. And if you're not careful with yourself, it can be up to nearly 20K. And I've seen 2 of the suits in the wild. It's basically like gambling and activated it's basically like gambling and activated the same addictive effect. Okay. Yeah, this is all gambling. This is all addictive gambling that's sucking these people's money dry. This is what happened to this guy. And now his woman, I mean, she's right. I mean, where is all his money going? If they're going to get married, it's like she probably makes her money. Maybe it's not as much as his, but, if he's going to be irresponsible with his money, he'll be irresponsible with her money too. Why would you want to be with someone like that? Let me read a couple more, then we're going to go off the air. My mother used to spend $500 plus per month on just Candy Crush. Jesus Christ. One person spending that much money, and this is what the app world and phones have done. I mean, people can just create any bullshit app and make money off of it. It's stupid. She played many games like that and spent at least $500 plus for each game. It used to blow my mind. You are your mom's retirement plan, bro. Is that $500 a month that could have gotten invested in over decades, gone up in value? Yep. Instead, you're giving it to these digital apps that cost nothing to run, and then they take your money, invest it, and make more money, and then you go broke. My stepdad was a retirement plan, and she blew through his money like she won the lottery. She was just about broke when she died, so good timing on her part. I really don't know. That's messed up, but hey, wow. There are a lot of people who make good incomes who lack self-control. They cry poverty and want me to feel for them like I would feel for someone stuck working at Walmart hoping to get enough hours to make rent. They go broke and act like they are the same. Yep, that's what's happening to this guy this woman was writing about in the original posting. It is best to be paranoid about going broke and saving more. Investing it somewhat conservative. One thing you can't get back is time, so if you risk and lose, you will never get it back. And leaving it. You don't need to be a penny pincher and have everyone hate you, but it is good to save and never stop saving. Then let investments grow over decades. Thank you. You never know if you will be homeless. Here's the thing. If you're making $175K a year, even putting 20% in 401k, you should be bringing home somewhere between, 9 and 10K a month clear, right? And if you're living in the Midwest where this guy's living at, in a moderate home, and not in the fanciest part of town, his mortgage is probably $1,000 at the most. Then he's got, homeowner's insurance, car insurance. His car is a used car, right? His expenses are probably like $3,000 a month at the most, if that, right? Where's the other $7,000 going, right? Okay, that's the thing. He's taking that money and trying to make more money by gambling it, and he keeps losing, and he keeps spending more to try to get back what he lost, and keeps losing more. It's spiraling out of control. This guy needs Gamblers Anonymous, and his woman is right. His woman should leave him. But yeah, that's what happens. Some people, they make a lot of money, and they're more broke than people that are living paycheck to paycheck out of Walmart, struggling just to make rent. It's funny, the people that make less money find a way to make it work, and they make it work more so than people that have a ton of money. Yeah. Yep, ma'am, there's your answer. So talk with him, and if he doesn't admit to you what's going on, then it's time to move on, man. That's my advice. All right. That's going to wrap up this show. Let's go back to full screen. I want to thank you all for being here tonight if you're here live on Tuesday, May 1st, 2021. Hope you all enjoyed the show. If you're here live watching on March 1st, 2020, sorry, did I say 2021? It's 2022. March 1st, 2022. If you're here watching live, I'm taking the day off tomorrow to spend with my lady. So you're going to get no content from me tomorrow, Wednesday, March 2nd. I will be back on Thursday, March 3rd with a walking stream and maybe possibly more. We're going to go take a nice walk tomorrow in her area, then do a nice dinner, and then she returns back to work on Thursday. So you won't see me tomorrow, but there's plenty of content to go back and watch on this channel. If you need more content than this, go back and watch my 2 previous streams before this, the 2 previous walking streams. I shared some great information. You can listen to it, while you're doing something else in the background. You don't have to watch it. All my content is more about the voice than the video, but obviously we're on YouTube, so I always use video, right? So check it out. And with that being said, thank you to everyone for being here. Have yourselves a great night, and I'll see you all on Thursday or next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.